I had this phone call last Monday and it said, I'm scared, I can't move, and I don't know what to do. And I was doing a live, and so I actually didn't get that call until a wee bit later, an hour in fact. And when I checked and I rang back, my mother was still there waiting for me to call her back. So she couldn't move. And so she wasn't sure what to do. And I said to her, okay, well, I'm on my way. And I said, let's ring the ambulance. So, and that's what we did. We rang the ambulance and we headed off to the emergency department. And so then we had to go through that process of being triaged and, you know, poked and prodded and x-rays taken and, you know, ultrasounds taken and brain scans taken and all sorts of tests that they did to try and work out what was happening. And so I just want to take it back a little bit and talk about my mum and her history and her chronic illnesses before I go any further. So mum has had type 2 diabetes since her 30s. She has high blood pressure, and she also has a bit of a heart condition as well too. And surprisingly, her cholesterol is good though, so that's good news. But you know, here's the thing about chronic illnesses. Sometimes we don't realise, or we probably realise just what's actually happening with our body, but we tend to go, oh, well, it's okay, and I'll just keep going and I'll keep going, until there's a day where those illnesses catch up with us, and that's exactly what happened last week for mum. Now, my mum is going down the same path as my grandmother, so I actually saw this firsthand when I was young, because mum and I lived with my grandparents, and so I was exposed to chronic illnesses and the effect of them really early in life, and unbeknownst to me, it did affect me, and hence the reason that I do what I do now, which is to help women live and feel better in their 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. And it's really important for me to be very, very diligent with myself, because otherwise I'm going to end up in the same boat as my nana, my great-grandmother, as well as, you know, my mum. And so subconsciously I started making, you know, small adjustments in my life, because I had seen and witnessed this very early on in life. My grandmother, when she passed away, even though I thought in my head that she was extremely old, she wasn't. She was only in her 60s, so, you know, like in my age group, and that really sort of like really sunk in for me. In moving into my 60s, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, I don't feel old. I certainly don't act like I'm old either. And so I just couldn't comprehend it, and it had been playing on my mind a little bit. And then when I got this phone call from mum, it sort of like stirred all that up again. And as she was laying on that bed in that emergency department, and she had closed her eyes and she was sleeping, and I looked at her and I went, oh my goodness, you know, she was just like my nana. I had all those visions and all those thoughts of what had happened so many years ago, and so it's now an adjustment to actually, you know, try and work out what we are best going to do. So she's moving now. We've got the wheelie walker, so we dragged that out of the shed from my dad, who actually yesterday has passed away 7 years ago. So we got that wheelie walker out, and so she's got a little shuffle thing happening now, but she's very limited. And the other day she said, I'm scared. I can't move. I don't know what's going on. And I said, well, you know, the very essence of everything that happens in life for us comes back down to being able to move, to be able to sit, to stand, to go to the bathroom, to make our beds, to reach in the cupboards, to be able to cook our meals, to do our grocery shopping, to be able to, you know, do our laundry. All of those things comes down to being able to freely and easily be able to move. And what happens is we do and we can take it for granted. And so today I want to actually say to you, you know, think about your body and what it can do for you, and just show a little bit of gratefulness, and just really give it a big wrap instead of criticizing it, because I know what can happen is we can focus on, you know, I don't like my nose, I don't like my butt, I don't like my arms, whatever it happens to be. We can focus on them, and we don't want to focus on them. What we want to do is focus on exactly what we can do and be sincerely grateful for it. And so now we're in a stage of, you know, trying to work out, you know, cleaning houses and doing all sorts of things for Mum. And I actually did say to her, Mum, I don't want to be that person who cares for you, because I saw what you went through with Nana. And she said, I've always said that I don't want you to do that. And I said, yeah, I know that. I said, I'm definitely here for you, and I'm definitely here when you need me, and, you know, to have that relationship with you and to talk with you and, you know, hold your hand when you need it. But I don't want to be that person who has to, you know, wipe your bottom if you need your bottom wiped. And so we need to find people to do that. But I reached out to my brother, who is a little bit younger than me, well, quite a bit younger than me, and I reached out to my gorgeous nieces and nephews who, you know, shout out to them. They are wonderful. And one of them, who is in the last year of high school right now, she has a couple of jobs that she does. And I said to her, do you have any time free during the week? And she said, yes, honey Peter, I do. And I said, would you like to go and clean Nana's house and, you know, spend a bit of time with her? And she said, oh yes, I'd love to do that. And so she has taken on the task of cleaning the house, so we've got that covered. After we have some assessments and things like that, then, you know, we can all, you know, just go into that role of supporting, which is what we want to do, rather than the doing aspect of it. And I think that's important, that, you know, we support those that we love, but also if we have the ability to be able to get other people to assist us, so that we're not having to put that pressure on ourselves and take care of ourselves. I think that's really important as well too. So I want to give a shout out to Yasmin, who posted this morning, and she was really frank and honest about how she has, during lockdowns and COVID, and, you know, she had stopped taking, you know, that care of herself, and what's happened now is she's trying to get back into it, and she's feeling older than what she is. She's got aches and pains occurring and everything like that, and, you know, it's just super difficult for her right now. And Yasmin, I just want to say, it is one step at a time. And you know, if, for example, that walking you mentioned and striding out is really difficult and hard, then what I want you to do is to not try and stride out. Just stick within, you know, the gate, like the step that you have, the ability that you have, and just stick at it day in, day out. And what happens is, when you can create that consistency, what will occur is that you will become better at it, you will get stronger, but it does come down to working at it each and every day. But in my lap here, and it broke this morning, so it's usually bigger than that, I have a resistance band. And I just want to say that if walking is not great for you right now, then, you know, grabbing a resistance band and actually just, you know, doing different things with your body, you know, like stretching out, um, and just doing simple things like going to stands, so sit to stands, that's all moving your body. And so if you can focus on things that you can do that are comfortable but still challenge you a little bit, that you find a little bit more palatable, then that's where you want to go, because there are so many options. And I know that what happens is that, you know, if we go to our doctors, you know, and they tell us that we need to start exercising, they're going to tell us to start walking. Now, walking is great, love walking, don't get me wrong, but it may not be the thing for you. And I know that, you know, in our FitFlex community, we have a couple of ladies who are going through some hip issues at the moment, and one in particular who needs to have a hip replacement. So walking sort of like isn't the most ideal thing for her. There are other ladies who have got feet issues, and so walking is not ideal for them. But they can still do other things. And that's what's important here, is that walking doesn't have to be the exercise of choice. And I will certainly say to you that exercise is great for that mind-body connection. It really gives you that opportunity to get outside, as an example, really connect a little bit more peacefully, and really feel, you know, that connection to something greater than yourself. But it doesn't have to be that. So it could be some form of strength training. So it could be resistance bands, it could be with weights, it could be with body weight. So, you know, just doing a push-up off of the bench, as an example, that's another thing that you could do. So there's that strength aspect of it as well. So, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that we stay strong. And so strength training is super, super critical for us. And we want to do that at least 2 to 3 times a week. The other thing is, you know, getting our heart rate up. That's really important as well. And you want to do that at least 1 to 2 times a week. And one of the things that I just shared in the FitFlex community this morning was a quick little 1-minute workout that really elevated your heart rate up. And it doesn't take a lot to actually, you know, supercharge your metabolism and get some response happening in your body. It can be as simple as 30 seconds to 1 minute of activity. And so what we did this morning was, you know, tricep dips off the chair, push-ups, and then cross-body mountain climbers. So, you know, simple little exercises, and we did them just 3 times over. That gave us a minute. My heart rate was elevated, and it certainly just got that blood pumping through my body. And it's good endurance workout as well too. So if I do that multiple times through the day, it just gives me that boost that I might need as well. So you want to make sure that you're trying to move incidentally during the course of the day too. They call that NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And so what I would say for anybody who might be feeling like Yasmin right now is to think about, you know, how often you're sitting, okay? And so really just start to track that and see what's happening with you and your body. Because it could just be that what you need to do is get up off your seat every so often. So a good measurement of that would be each time you go to the bathroom, think about it. Do some squats, do some push-ups on the vanity. Simple little basic foundational exercises. That's a great place to start. So you really don't have to push yourself to get out there walking if you've got, you know, certain types of aches and pains and concerns that are happening in your body. There are so many other options available to you. So it is about moving freely, moving easily, and finding something that is that little bit of a challenge, but certainly something that you're going to enjoy. So hopefully you found some tips here today, so that if you are just starting out or you are having aches and pains, that you know that there are other options available to you. And I would certainly say to everybody, it's really, really important that we keep moving, because it is the fundamental of everything that we do in life. So keep moving and stay safe and be happy and enjoy your Monday. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.